What's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer, and welcome to your daily silver stacking video. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, what a video I have put together for you guys and gals today. Make sure you hit this like button and leave a comment, even if it's just a thumbs up. Help the YouTube gods promote and recommend this video in front of other stackers that need to hear about this contradictory question and statement. They're saying silver strong and weak at once. How is that even possible? Well, we're going to go over how that's possible here today, folks. Very interesting times. I mean, if we were ever going to talk about crazy silver prices, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're living in crazy times. If silver was ever going to break out the triple digits throughout history, looking at what's happening right now, now would be the time. I mean, it just makes the most sense. The stars are aligning. The perfect storm is here. The floodgates have opened. It's just a waiting game at this point. It's not when. I mean, it's not if, but it's when. And the when, in my opinion, is around 2023, 2024, moving into 2025, when all of the things that push silver apart from gold are going to be in full effect. We haven't even seen the beginning yet. It hasn't even started yet. We're still in the movie theaters eating the popcorn, watching the trailers. Movie hasn't even started yet, and that's the craziest thing. If you want to talk about these premiums, American Eagles having, $15, $20 premiums nowadays instead of $2 premiums max, that's because there's a silver shortage. Go on APMEX, look at gold. There is no premiums because gold isn't scarce, and gold isn't going to benefit when everything starts to require more silver. We're talking about the new Green Deal. We're talking about solar panels, 5G towers, silver lithium ion batteries. We're talking about this new industrial era, this new digital era that we're advancing in technologically. It requires silver, not gold. There's a reason why my name is Silver Slayer, not Gold Slayer. So when we're looking at silver being strong and weak at once, we are going to see, and it's mainly because silver's price is affected by a lot of different things. So one thing could be bullish for silver, but another thing could be bearish. And maybe those two things are happening at once. So the prices are just getting pushed and pulled. It's like people playing tug of war, and the price is just going to be everywhere right now until things settle down, especially with the FOMC, the dollar index rallying, but then kind of crashing because of speculation. And so yeah, I just wanted to give a little introduction into my opinion before we dive into this, and I would love to hear yours as well. Participate. After you like the video, let me know what you think about this. Let me know some things that pop up in your head while we're going over this video. Any questions or maybe some points that I talked about that made you think about something else that you wanted to add in. You can add in. It's not me that knows everything. I'm just showing you guys the articles and throwing my 2 cents in. You guys could also make some very good, valid points to add and make this video even better that everyone else in the video can read as well. I hope you're reading the comments and you guys are talking and bouncing ideas and thoughts off of each other as well, because we are all in the same team. So anyways, I'll shut up for now. Let's jump into this. And we also do have a second article as well, how silver price predictions as the Christmas week trade takes shape, because precious metals are usually bearish during Christmas time. So I wanted to look at that as well, see what they had to say. So gold is barely crawling up while silver is boldly climbing the market ladder. When its rings turn slippery, causing the precious metals to fall. I mean, since gold is barely crawling up, silver usually mimics gold, which is funny because they're used for two completely different reasons. I mean, why are two assets so finely intertwined when they have two completely different reasons? I mean, gold is used for something that silver isn't, and vice versa. Silver and gold are used for two completely different things, but the prices are almost identical, and that's also why I say that silver is going to start taking on a life of its own soon. Yesterday's session was particularly uneventful in the case of the precious metals market, as crude oil and the general stock market stole the spotlight. Consequently, today's analysis will focus on what's happening in the pre-market trading, and that's what happens, or that's what's appearing to be more important. At the moment of writing these words, gold is up very modestly, less than 0.2%. And that's talking about after rallying $1,850 or $1,815 in tune with my Thursday's analysis and invalidating the breakout above the rising resistance line, gold appears to be making another attempt to rally, but the strength of the move is very limited. Predicting higher gold prices might not be the best idea here, as the yellow metal was not able to even get to the red line, let alone its previous monthly high. And like I mentioned before, if gold's a volcano and silver's a volcano, gold's volcano already erupted. It already blew past $2,000, the highest price in 5,000 years. Gold it's gone. It's erupted. Silver's volcano hasn't erupted yet. It's still bubbling. It's still filling up with magma, and it's gonna explode. It just hasn't happened. So gold doesn't have much steam built up. So you're not gonna see gold doing very dramatic, outrageous moves because it blew past $2,000 last year. That's the highest in the last 5,000 years. That's the highest price gold has ever been. That's also the cheapest silver's ever been compared to gold, because the gold to silver ratio was 125 to 1 during that time frame. So while gold moved higher by less than 0.2%, silver rallied about 1.5% and is now trading very close to its previous monthly highs. And this is very interesting because silver is showing strength and weakness at once. How is that possible, one might ask? It's the same as with trends of the forecast for silver. They can be bearish and bullish simultaneously, depending on the time frame that one focuses on. And that's the important part. Perception is everything. Let me paint this picture clear for you. Let's say one person started buying silver in March of 2020 when silver was $11. So now they look at $22 silver and they say, dang, their profit has doubled. But someone else started buying silver, got in at $30 during the Wall Street silver movement. Now they look at $22 and say, dang, their profit has gone down, doubled. You see how both people can have different perspectives? One is saying, man, silver's up so much, and the other person saying, dang, silver's down so much. At the same that same day, those two people could be telling their friends silver's up dramatically or silver's down dramatically, just depending upon when those two people in particular entered the markets. So it's all perspective based. It's all perception. And for example, and his example is, I think that the very long-term outlook for silver is extremely bullish. I also think that the medium term is bearish, and it is. The short term is also bearish, and with the immediate term trend is also bullish. So am I bullish or bearish? Answering this without specifying the time frame is bound to create misunderstandings, right? Because the dollar index right now is seeming to be stronger for the short to medium term, but right now, after that, the speculation kind of fell through from the FOMC and Federal Chairman Jerome Powell, with the rate hikes and all that, from 15 billion to 30, and four rate cuts, I think, going into next year, or they expect, quote unquote, using these words like expect, which means they're just hoping, aiming, but usually it's never to that degree, or those numbers never add up. So there is going to be a lot of speculation, and you could see how, since silver is affected by so many different things, you're going to get things that are going to be pointing towards higher prices and lower prices at the same time. And at the end of the day, none of that should affect you unless you're planning on selling. If you're not planning on selling, then why in the world would higher prices be beneficial to you? It wouldn't. It wouldn't. Literally, the only reason you would want silver to go higher right now, if you're not selling, is that you need validation that it can go higher. You need confirmation because you need proof that silver can go higher, which we all know it can. It has before. 10 years ago, not even 10 years ago, silver was $50. 10 years ago, right? That's not long at all. It's not like it was 30, 40 years ago in 1980. Just in 2011, it was $50. So anyways, getting back to silver's relative to performance, it's been weak when taking into account the last couple of weeks. Please note how little of the recent monthly decline silver has corrected compared to gold. Gold recently moved higher to its October highs, but silver topped a few dollars below its October high. What does it tell us? Silver is likely to fall hard, also compared to gold, probably in tune with the general stock market. Similar to what happened in 2008 and 2020. That's the same kind of performance that we saw in the very early parts of the huge declines. What do they mean by 2008, 2020? This is a very important part. Remember when I said 2011 silver was $50? Well, that was started from 2008. Credit financial crisis, recession/depression, $1 billion stimulus. 3 years later leads to $50 silver. 2020, recession/depression, credit financial crisis, $1 trillion stimulus, and a global pandemic, and a silver shortage. So if that in 3 years led silver to $50, if we're talking about the same thing happening but to a much higher degree, would be 3 years, it would be much higher than 50, because $1 trillion is much bigger than $1 billion stimulus. And there's a global situation that was not happening back then. Yes, recession, yes, the credit crisis, that those things have, are similar, but $1 trillion is a lot. I don't even think the human brain can fathom how much bigger of a number a trillion is than a billion. So $1 trillion stimulus and a pandemic and a silver shortage on the line, making these premiums insane, nearly doubling the price of the original spot. So you could see how, yes, things are similar, but if you want to talk about $50 silver, just do the math. I mean, just think logically, and you could see that, silver is set to go much higher. Now, that's the same kind of performance that we saw in the very early parts of the huge declines. At the same time, silver is strong compared to gold on an immediate term basis. And this means that we're likely at or close to a short-term top. Why? Because that's what precious metals markets tend to do when it's topping. It's one of the great old trading tips to monitor the precious metals market for these situations. One could debate why this is really the case. There are quite a few theories. Silver market is smaller, so are more prone to sudden moves, which is exactly right. The silver market is much smaller than the gold market, and that's why silver is more volatile. That's why it's more exaggerated. That's why it's riskier. That's why the prices are times 10, because the market's much smaller. And the point is that it simply works. Please note that some things like the Pareto principle, the 20-80 rule, can work and be very useful, even if it's not clear why they work. So, anyways, seems like the days of this short-term corrective upswing are either over or about to be over, and that precious metal sector will return to its medium-term decline any day now. So, let's just play the tape through. All I'm saying is that silver can go down to $2 an ounce, and I will be buying bucket loads of it. Most people would sell, thinking silver crashed, I made a mistake, my investment's down really low, I need to get out, I need to exit. But that's the worst time to exit. When most people are buying, you should be selling, and when most people are selling, you should be buying, right? You don't want to do what everyone else is doing, because everyone usually invests off of emotion, and that's why they always lose money. Get lucky if they break even. And with these premiums nowadays, you probably won't even break even, especially if you started buying the last couple of years. And those are the people most at risk because of the newest stackers, right? The people that got on the Wall Street silver train. I'm just praying that since most of them bought at $30, didn't already sell, because if they did, they lost a lot of money. Silver prices have remained, and here's the second article, price prediction as Christmas week trade takes shape. So silver price has remained within a horizontal channel as Christmas week trade takes shape. The expected decline in volume will likely have precious metals remain within a pattern in the ensuing sessions. At the same time, the blow to Build Back Better Act and improving risk appetite will likely boost the commodity as the US dollar declines. However, from a broader perspective, the greenback is still strong. You see how there's things working and going against silver's price, kind of, exactly saying what this first article was talking about. It's bearish, but it's also bullish at once, looking like it's strong and weak at the same time. And that's because so many things affect the price of precious metals, and not all of those things are going to be going together themselves. Silver's price is hovering around $22.25 after extending last week's low on Monday. And late last week, the precious metal has rebounded to a 2.5-week high at $22.68. He said, I'd rather have a neutral bias for silver. As such, I expect the range between $22 and $22.60 to remain a crucial one for the precious metal in the ensuing sessions. And above the horizontal channel upper border, it may surge along the 200-day EMA at $23 before pulling back. So, we have the support resistance levels. We see this horizontal channel, and everything's just looking like you're going to have to take it day by day. But the people that are emotionally attached to these prices, that let the day-to-day prices affect them emotionally, and whether that makes them nervous or anxious or fearful or thinking about pulling the plug, like you can't invest like that. Right, you can't invest like that. I like to make this analogy. So, let's say there's two investors. The one guy's very anxious, looking at the markets every day, hour by the hour, getting affected by different things, and always in their head, and thinking, someone who's very skittish like that. There's that investor. And then let's look at another guy who's very cool, calm, collect. Doesn't get in his head too much, looks at things as they are, right? Very, very down to earth, doesn't think about the worst case scenarios. Who do you think is going to be more successful? The second guy, right? The guy that's cool, calm, collect, right? You can't be investing like the first guy. If you do, you're always going to be impulsively buying or panic selling. Fear, uncertainty, doubt is going to eat you alive. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you thought this video was educational, informational, at least entertaining, make sure to hit the like button. Please leave a comment as well. Please help this video do good. Not for my sake, for your own. I want silver stackers to be able to get this information. I want people to see this video that stack. They need to. And if you do like the video and comment, it helps the engagement, which also translates to the video getting recommended in front of other silver stackers that are on YouTube, right? The video will be shown in front of them. But if it doesn't get many likes and comments, engagements down, then this video won't get shown in front of many stackers, which I really hope it does, because people do need to see it. This was an important video showing, the prices, how it's strong and weak at the same time. There's a lot of stuff going around, and we need to pay attention to it. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.